Kia ora team, welcome back to Let's Build a Website Part 2. It is time to style, but let's just see what we left off with. So we've completed our structure, and what you can notice here is it's looking nicely organized with our HTML document declaration, reading it in English. We've got our information in the head, it's all indented. We've got our information in the body and everything's indented here, and in the green you can see I've written some comments. So I've just commented on what area of the website these things are going to be. So let's have a quick look at what it looks like, and then we're going to move forward. So at the moment we've got our content here, we've got the structure. Alright, but it's not looking that flash, so that's our job. So I'm just going to minimize that, and now I am going to jump onto the style sheet. So there's nothing on there. I want to comment on this as well. So for CSS commenting, I'm going to go /*, I'll put a couple of spaces in, or a few, // and whatever goes in the middle is my comment, and you can see it's green. So this is the styling for the body of the content. So what we're going to do is we're going to style for the body of the content. So we better just have a quick look at what our document tells us that we need to do. So we're now on page 5, and the first thing that we're going to do with the styling is style the body. So that's the whole thing, and this time we're not able to copy and paste. Let me show you a bit of a shortcut. So I'm going to hit Windows with the left arrow, and it's going to pop that bit of that document onto half the screen, and you are going to be so lucky if you're using a full desktop, because you're going to be able to see a full, we know it's going to be large. I'm going to hit Windows left with that, and it's not so easy to work with because I'm on a small screen. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to shift this. Oops. I'm going to try and do this. Oh, gosh, come on. I'll make it big. I'm going to do that. So pop it over here. And so this is just a bit of housekeeping, really. And then I'll bring up that Word document, and I'll tell it I want it to go Windows right. Oh, it's not going to go. I'll have to manually shift it. That's going to be okay. I can see it, which is what I need. Alright, so the first bit of styling we need to do is this here. So let's get onto the style sheet. So the first thing we need to do is tell the style sheet what element we're going to style. So we're styling the body, all lowercase, space, curly brackets. So I'm just going to tap the opening curly bracket, and it gives us the opening and closing. I'm going to hit enter, and it's just putting everything where it should go, which is great. So the first thing we're going to do is margin, and again this is going to give us all the syntax, which is great, and all I'm writing is 0 space 0 space 0 space 0. So it's 4 zeros, which is meaning top, bottom, left and right. Now the margin is the bit inside a border, if we were going to have a border, and then margin is the outside and the padding is the inside. So I might just bring you up a quick picture of that so that you can see margin, border, excuse my spelling, and this is a lovely diagram of it. Let's make that big. So this is what you're actually doing. I just want to find that nice picture there. Alright, so you've got your content, which would be on the white, and we can put some padding around it so that it's not jammed up against the very left of the screen. We can then put a border around it. Now the border could be thick, it could be thin, it could be dotted lines, whatever you want. Think about what we did on the Napier 1931 website. And then outside the border, you can have a margin, so give some space around that as well. So that's what we're styling for at the moment. Alright, so margin, what I'm going to do actually, I'm going to pause this and I'll type in the bits and pieces and I'll come back and explain them. Kia ora, I'm back again. Alright, I've left a few gaps here and I'm just going to backtrack. So this font family, I just wanted to show you this. So I'll do that. Now it gives me a whole selection that I can choose from. Now on our instructions it has Verdana. So what this means is font family, choose Verdana if you've got it, if your laptop's got it or your computer's got it. If it doesn't, then choose Geneva. If it doesn't have that, then choose Tahoma. And if it doesn't have that, just choose a sans serif font. Now, just to sort this out, we need to finish it with a semicolon. There we go. Now, font size, we're going to put in here 0.9 EM. Now, EM will be a measurement that you haven't necessarily heard before, but it's a relative measure, and things that are measured against it, such as the padding, it's saying relative to the font size, make the padding twice the size. That's probably the easiest way to explain that for now. Now, background colour, you can choose whatever you like. We could put in this, we're going to use a hex colour, and I've given you an instruction. Alright, I'll just put that in, and then we'll go and have a look at it. We'll hit save, and check out what it looks like. Now, in the instructions, oh, that's made it grey. Cool. Well, not so cool. I don't really like grey. So let's get rid of that. And in these instructions, I have given you a font picker website that you can go to have a look for a colour that you like. And whoops, this is it here. So I'm going to click on that. Right, there we go. Cool. So I'd chosen a colour that kind of looks about like that, and it's quite cool because I can see the selected colour, I can see it with black, I can see it with white text, shadow text, so I need to choose a background colour with a text colour where the text is going to pop out and be really readable. So I could just fade that back a bit, maybe that. Yeah, that's the kind of colour I like. And this is the hex number here. There'll be more about hex at a later date, but just know that it generally has 6 numbers or letters, and it will start with a hash. So I am going to, oops, pop that in here. And then I'll press save. We'll have a quick look at that. And then I'm going to ka-chink. Oh yeah, that's okay. Then we'll have a quick look here. And so we've styled the body. The next thing we're going to do is style the header. And this is where the heading would go. Or in the Napier 1931 website, we put an image there. So I'm going to pause this, pop that onto my style sheet, and I will be back. Hi again. So this is what I've just done. I've made the header into a white box, and it's got a little border around it with a radius, so it's got curved edges, and you can see a little bit of a shadow. So let's have a quick look at the code that we've got here. So we've done the header, curly tags, curly braces, sorry, margin 1 EM. So that's outside the text content. We've got, padding is outside the text comment. So that's the padding 1 EM. We've got the margin, which is going to be outside the border. And then what we've done is we've created a border radius with a box shadow. And you can see here it says 001 EM and then RGBA, and it's got 000 0.5. Now what the RGBA is saying is the first 3 zeros make the colour black, and then the last one gives us some transparency, so it is quite light. And then this box shadow, it goes top, right, bottom, left. Pretty sure I've got that correct. And then that is how we get this. So that's quite cool. So make sure you've sorted that out, and then it is time to style the nav. So I'll just start this here before I pause. So you can see I've typed in nav, hit enter, space, typed in my curly braces. Now I've hit enter, everything's at the right place. So it's nav, space, curly brace, indentation, this is actually 4 spaces, and then I've got my closing curly bracket to that navigation styling. So we need to put in a margin, and it's 1 EM. Now you notice up here we actually put 4 letters in, so 4 numbers in, and here as well. Because they're all the same, we could actually get away with just putting 2 EM, because that would go top, left, right, oops, top, left, bottom, right, etc. So anyway, let me pause this. I will be back and we'll have a look at it. Okay, let's check it out. We're about to style the navigation. So at the moment you can see we've got 2 navigation links. We've got the home, and then we've got these hashtags, which are just a placeholder. You can also see they are one underneath each other, and you can see that they've got these little bullets beside them. So we want the navigation to be one beside each other, and we want to get rid of these little bullets. So we've got quite a bit that we're going to do. So I've started it. So navigation, so that is on the HTML. This is everything that fits within here. We're going to give it 1 EM of margin. So that is anything outside any border that would get put in. We haven't got a border that we're putting in. We're going to put padding 1 EM, so that's around top, bottom, left, right of any text. And the background colour at the moment is going to be white, but we might change that. Then we're going to style the unordered list aspect of this HTML. So this is our unordered list here right through, and what we're going to do to it, we're giving it no margin, no padding. Now list style none. So that is going to remove the disk. Then we're going to display it using a technique called flex. And the last bit we're going to do is style the list item of the navigation of the unordered list. Again, it's going to have 0 margin, 0 padding, and it's going to have this thing called flex grow 1. Let's have a look at what it looks like. So I'll hit save, and we'll go into the default browser. And here we go. We've got a box. We have got no little discs beside our navigation links, and they are even across the page. So if we had 4, we would have another link here and another link here, because we've said flex grow 1. Let's just go back to here. This is this flex grow property, and this all looks kind of fairly complex here, but in here we've got this flex grow. We've said 1 1 1 1 1, so all of these little boxes are 1 across. If we said we'll have one of those divisions as being 2, you can see it's double the width. So it gives you a bit of an idea about this flex grow business. So this is what we'll have here. I could go through and change this colour. Maybe I should do that, because that'd be fun. I'm just going to hover here. I'm actually going to do it the cheats way. I'm going to about here. I'm going to pull that. So I'm going to give it a bit of colour, but not too much. Oh, that might be too much compared with the other one. Let's try that. Oh, browse. Cool. So all we need to do now, oh yeah, so I've got a slightly bluish colour. Doesn't particularly work well with this blue, but I can fix that by having a look at my colour picker. Oh, where's my colour picker? At my colour picker. Actually, that would be a better idea, using that. And I could select a colour that works in with the original colour that I had. I'm going to do that so that I get something that looks a bit more decent. Boom. Save. Alright, so we'll have a look at that in a moment. What have we got left to style? Well, we need to style our article, which is where we're going to put our content, and we also need to style our footer. So I'm going to go and do both of those things, and then I will be back. Okie dokie, here we are again. So what we've done here is in the article, which is where your content is, we've said text align center. We've given it 20 pixels padding at the top. Now we've done padding left and padding right, both at auto. What that does is it centers the text, and it leaves a margin of the same amount on both left and right sides, irrelevant of the screen size that someone's looking at the content on. And the footer, we've given it some margin, some padding, a background colour of white, and we've given it a radius border, so it's going to have a little box and it's going to be white. So let's just save that, check out what it looks like. Kaboom. However, we haven't got my little box around the footer. What did I do? Let's just come back and have a look. So, oh, I wonder if I saved it. Let's just check that. Oops. Saving's always good. Oh, there we go. Saved. And so you can see we've got our heading right in the middle, our content, that's our text, and we've got our footer here. That looks a bit odd because we've got the text over here. So you could decide to jump back here into the style and go, actually, I want to text align this. There it is, and we'll say center. Save that, and let's I'll just refresh, and then everything's in the center. I could do that with the top bit as well. So I can have a bit of a play around with this. Now what I'm going to do is stop it there, and there's going to be a third video, because what we want to do is add our own content. We want to add an image here, and for some of you, you want to create a second HTML page, give it a name, and we'll just write more about me, and put some content on that next page. Alright, have fun.